Welcome back to my channel, Pocket Change Coins. If you're excited about finding hidden gems in your pocket change, you're in the right place. First, we're going to uncover some of the most valuable and rare US coins that could be worth a fortune. Let's dive in. We're talking about the 2020 United States quarter, and while it may seem like just another coin from your pocket change, there's a lot more to this story than meets the EYE.so. Sit back, relax, and join us as we explore the design, history, rarity, and the shocking value this unassuming coin can carry, especially if you've got the right one. Let's start by talking about the year 2020. It was a historic year for many reasons, and while most of us remember it for global events, coin collectors remember it for some very special quarters released as part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program. This program, which began in 2010, aimed to celebrate the national parks and historic sites across the United States, one design for each state and territory. And in 2020, the program was in full swing, with several unique designs released, all of which carried powerful images and stories. The quarters minted in 2020 include tributes to the National Park of American Samoa, Ware Farm National Historic Site, Salt River Bay, Marsh Billings Rockefeller National Historical Park, and the Tallgrass Prairie National Preserve. Each of these quarters had their own theme and artistic beauty, but what connects them all is the mint mark, and for this video, we're focusing on the Denver minted versions, easily spotted by the D mark on the coin. Now, you might be wondering, how can a coin that's only a few years old be valuable? After all, we're not talking about something ancient or rare from the 1800s. But here's the thing, coin collecting isn't always about age. Sometimes, it's about condition, scarcity in high grade, and rare minting errors. Let's break that down a bit more. First, condition matters a lot. Coins that are graded in mint state, MS 66, 67, or even higher can become extremely valuable. That means they look just as perfect as they did the moment they left the mint, no scratches, no wear, and flawless details. Most coins, even modern ones, get dinged up as they go through circulation, so finding a 2020 D quarter that is completely untouched is much harder than you might think. Next, let's talk about minting errors. These are the holy grail for collectors. Sometimes a coin will have a double die, an off-center strike, a die clash, or some other production flaw that wasn't caught during inspection. These types of errors can make a coin one of a kind, and when you mix that with a modern design that's already in demand, you've got something really special. In the case of the 2020 D quarters, collectors have found a variety of interesting errors and variations. Some have double dies, others have strike-through errors, and a few even show dramatic misalignments, the kinds of things that make expert collectors and grading companies take notice. Now here's something else to think about: low population in high grades. Even though millions of 2020 D quarters were made, only a small handful have been officially graded as near perfect. And when only a few coins in the world meet that level of quality, collectors are willing to pay a premium, sometimes a massive one. And let's not forget the artistic and historic value of these coins. Each design tells a story about a part of America, whether it's the cultural history of American Samoa, the natural beauty of Vermont's forests, or the critical biodiversity of Salt River Bay. These aren't just coins, they're miniature time capsules and pieces of art. When you combine that narrative with rarity and pristine condition, the value of the coin becomes more than just monetary, it becomes historical. So here's the part you've been waiting for: how much is this coin actually worth? If you're lucky enough to own a 2020 D quarter that has been preserved in flawless, uncirculated condition, especially one with a verified mint error, your coin could be worth as much as $29,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $29,000 for a quarter that's only a few years old. That's why it pays to look closely at your change. You never know when you might be holding something special, something rare, and something truly valuable. So go check those jars, look through your rolls of coins, and keep your eyes open, because the next big treasure might already be in your hands. Second rare coin, we're diving into one of the boldest and most iconic state quarters ever released, the 2004 D Texas State Quarter. At first glance, it may look like just another piece of spare change. But by the end of this video, you might find yourself checking every quarter you have at home. Because one particular version of this Texas quarter, minted in Denver, could be worth far, far more than you'd expect. Let's start with the basics. The Texas State Quarter was released in 2004 as part of the U.S. Mint's 50 State Quarters program, one of the most popular coin series in American history. Each state was celebrated with a unique design, and when it came time for Texas to take the stage, the result was something bold, proud, and unmistakably Texan. The reverse side of the quarter features a striking design, a large five-pointed star, a symbol deeply tied to Texas' identity as the Lone Star State. Behind the star is an outline of the state of Texas, bordered by a lariat, or cowboy rope, that frames the image with Western flair. It's a design that honors the state's independent spirit, its rich frontier history, and its cultural roots. The date 1845 is featured prominently, marking the year Texas officially joined the Union. Alongside that is the date of minting, 2004, and if you look just above Washington's shoulder on the obverse side, you'll spot the D Mint mark, indicating that this coin was produced at the Denver Mint. Now, while hundreds of millions of these quarters were minted, not all Texas quarters are created equal. That's where things get interesting, and valuable. For most people, a 2004 D Texas quarter is just pocket change. But if you're lucky enough to find one in exceptional condition or with a rare minting error, its value can skyrocket. Let's talk about why. First up is condition. The highest valued coins are those that have never entered circulation, untouched by hands, cash registers, or coin jars. These coins are graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, and grades like MS-67 or MS-68 are considered extremely rare. They shine with full original luster, crisp edges, and perfect detail. Basically, they're in museum-worthy shape. Less than a fraction of a percent of coins ever earn such a grade, but condition isn't the only factor. Some Texas quarters have been found with mint errors that make them especially desirable to collectors. These errors can include double die obverse, off-center strikes, or die cracks that create unusual patterns or textures on the coin. Because minting errors are unintentional and rarely repeated, they turn an ordinary coin into a one-of-a-kind collectible. Imagine having a coin that only exists in its unique form because of a factory mistake. That's the kind of coin that gets collectors excited and drives up the value at auctions. Now here's where the story gets even better. Not only is the Texas quarter a beautiful tribute to a state with a larger-than-life legacy, but it's also one of the more sought-after coins in the state quarter series. Texas has a massive population of collectors, and the Lone Star State holds a special place in the hearts of Americans, which means demand for pristine or rare versions of this quarter is always strong. Combine that demand with rarity, and the result is a coin that could bring you a massive return. So what's the magic number? If you happen to come across a 2004 D Texas State quarter in flawless uncirculated condition, especially one with a rare or dramatic mint error, you could be holding a piece worth $44,000. Yes, you heard that right. $44,000 for a single state quarter that you might already have sitting in your coin jar or tucked away in a drawer. That's the thrill of coin collecting, the idea that an everyday item can hold incredible value if it has the right features. So don't just pass your coins along without a second look. Flip them over. Look at the date, check the mint mark, inspect the edges, and look for anything out of the ordinary. You never know when you might stumble upon a tiny treasure that could change everything. Third spotlight is on a truly iconic piece, the United States of America New York State Quarter, minted in 2001 and stamped with the Philadelphia Mint mark, the letter P. At first glance, it may seem like just another coin in the State Quarter series. But this New York quarter has some secrets to share. And by the end of this video, you'll know why it's one of the more intriguing, and potentially valuable, quarters out there. Let's jump into the design, because that's the first thing that sets this coin apart. The reverse side of the New York quarter features the Statue of Liberty, towering proudly over an outline of the state. Radiating from the background are lines representing the gateway to freedom, symbolizing New York's role as the historic entry point for millions of immigrants who came to America through Ellis Island. It's a powerful message captured in a small space, reminding us of liberty, opportunity, and the American dream. the coin also features the date 1788, marking the year New York officially became the 11th state in the Union, along with the year of issue, 2001. The design isn't just beautiful, it's deeply meaningful. Every element on this quarter tells a story about courage, change, and the history that helped shape the nation. But what about the value of this coin? Why would a coin that was minted in the millions be worth anything more than 25 cents? Here's where it gets exciting. While the 2001 New York quarter was indeed minted in large numbers, not all of them were treated equally by time or fate. Some coins were kept in pristine, untouched condition, never circulated, never dropped, never scratched. Others made their way into collectors' hands and were preserved in protective cases. But there's another level to the story, and that's the rare minting errors. Every now and then, a coin will slip through the minting process with a flaw, a double die, off-center strike, die clash, or some other mechanical error. These coins are incredibly rare, and when found on popular issues like the state quarters, their value skyrockets. Combine that with an uncirculated or high-grade condition, and suddenly, that ordinary quarter becomes a collector's dream. Let's also not forget about grading. Professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can determine just how perfect your coin is. A New York quarter graded at MS 67 or MS 68, meaning it's in near flawless mint state condition, becomes incredibly scarce. Only a small number of coins ever reach that level, making them highly desirable for serious collectors trying to complete high-end sets. And there's another reason the New York quarter stands out. It was released just months before one of the most pivotal moments in American history, September 11, 2001. For many collectors, that gives this coin an extra layer of emotional and historical significance. It marks a moment in time that changed the country forever, adding even more value for those who view coins not just as currency, but as powerful symbols of our shared story. So, if you happen to have a 2001 New York State quarter, especially one in mint condition or showing any unusual features or errors, hold on tight. You may be in possession of something far more valuable than you ever imagined, because one rare example of this coin, perfectly preserved and highly sought after by collectors, has been valued at a stunning $50,000. Yes, you heard that right, $50,000 for a single quarter. A coin that may be hiding in plain sight in your change, your drawer, or your collection. That's the magic of coin collecting. Every coin has a story. Some are common, some are rare, and a few, like the 2001 New York State quarter, are priceless to the right collector. So next time you get change back at the store, take a moment. Flip over that quarter. Look for the P mint mark. Check the year. And inspect the condition. Because you just might be holding a little piece of history, and maybe even a fortune. Next coin, spotlight is on the 2004 Florida State quarter. At first glance, it's just another coin from the U.S. Mint's incredibly popular 50 state quarters program, which ran from 1999 to 2008. But if you stay with me through this video, you'll find out exactly why this Florida quarter could be worth far more than just 25 cents, and you'll want to grab your magnifying glass and start inspecting your change right away. Let's begin with the design. The reverse side of the Florida State quarter is a striking tribute to the Sunshine State's unique history, natural beauty, and deep connection to both exploration and space. It features a Spanish galleon sailing toward the coast, symbolizing the arrival of European explorers like Juan Ponce de Leon. Just beside it, you'll see a space shuttle launching into the sky, a powerful nod to Florida's central role in modern space exploration, thanks to the Kennedy Space Center. Between these two symbols of discovery, one from the past and one from the future, lies the state outline of Florida with a palm tree in the foreground, tying the entire theme together with tropical flair. And let's not forget the years inscribed on the coin: 1845, when Florida joined the Union as the 27th state, and 2004, the year this quarter was released. Flip the coin over, and on the obverse you'll find the familiar portrait of George Washington, along with the mint mark, and that's where today's story really begins. The P on the Florida quarter indicates that it was minted in Philadelphia. Now, while millions of these coins were produced, not all of them are alike. And that's what makes this journey so fascinating. Most of the 2004 Florida quarters went straight into circulation. They've been passed around, dropped, scratched, and worn down over the years. But a few, a very small number, were preserved in pristine condition. These are what collectors call uncirculated coins or coins in mint state. And when we say mint state, we're talking about the coin being in nearly flawless shape, perfect edges, clear strike, full luster, as if it had never left the mint at all. Even fewer of these coins feature rare minting errors, and this is where things start to get really exciting. Some 2004 Florida quarters have been discovered with die cracks, double dies, misaligned strikes, or even planchet flaws, mistakes that happened during the minting process and were never intended to reach the public. Because these kinds of errors are rare and usually unique, they make those coins significantly more desirable to collectors. In the world of coin collecting, rarity, condition, and demand create value, and the 2004 Florida State Quarter checks all the right boxes if you have one of these rare variations or a coin in top-grade condition. Serious collectors often pay premium prices for coins that complete their state quarter collections, especially when the coin is exceptionally well preserved or includes one of those sought-after errors. And here's something else to consider: the Florida quarter holds extra sentimental value for many Americans. It represents more than just a state. It symbolizes warm beaches, rich history, and a future of exploration. That emotional connection can also increase demand and push values even higher in the collector's market. So, what happens when all these elements come together? What if you discover a 2004 Florida quarter that's not only in mint state but also carries a rare minting error or a limited mintage quirk? You might be holding a coin that's worth far more than you ever expected. In fact, one such example has been valued at a stunning $30,000. Yes, you heard that right. $30,000 for a single Florida quarter. A coin you could have received as change at the grocery store, or one that's been sitting untouched in your childhood coin jar for years. That's the magic of numismatics, the thrill of discovering history, art, and value in the everyday coins we often take for granted. So if you've got a 2004 Florida State Quarter with a P mint mark, it might be time to take a closer look. Examine it under good lighting, check for oddities in the design, inspect its condition, and if it looks promising, consider getting it professionally graded. Who knows? You might be the next person to uncover a rare and valuable piece of modern American coinage. Especially, I'm talking about the 2005 West Virginia State Quarter, a coin that holds a unique spot in American numismatic history and may just be worth a lot more than you expect. Now, you might be wondering, what makes this quarter so special? Well, let's take a closer look at it, because there's more to this coin than meets the eye. Released in 2005 as part of the U.S. Mint's 50 State Quarters program, this quarter honors the state of West Virginia, which became a state in 1863. But what really makes this coin stand out is the history behind it and its unique design elements. The reverse side of the West Virginia State Quarter features some incredibly powerful imagery. On it, we see a stylized image of the Appalachian Mountains, which symbolize the region's natural beauty and history. Across the mountains, there's a panther, a tribute to the state's diverse wildlife, particularly the eastern cougar, which once roamed the hills of West Virginia. The coin also bears the state's motto, "Wild and Wonderful," capturing the spirit of adventure and natural beauty that defines West Virginia. This design is a tribute not just to the state's natural wonders, but also to its rich cultural history. West Virginia has always been known for its coal mines, its scenic landscapes, and its place in American history, especially during the Civil War when it broke away from Virginia to become its own state. So, in a way, this coin carries the weight of that history with it every time it's passed from hand to hand. But here's the twist: while millions of these quarters were produced, a small percentage of them were minted with particular characteristics that have made them stand out in the world of coin collecting. And this is where things get interesting. While most of the coins from the West Virginia series have seen heavy circulation, there are certain rarities and misprints that make a specific coin from this series worth a fortune. Coins in mint state or with error varieties are highly sought after by collectors. For example, some 2005 West Virginia quarters have been discovered with die cracks, double dies, or other striking errors that occurred during the minting process. These are known as error coins, and in the world of numismatics, error coins can be extremely valuable. What makes these coins so special is their uniqueness. When a coin is struck with an error, it's essentially a one-of-a-kind artifact that didn't follow the usual process. This is exactly what collectors love, the thrill of discovering something that's rare, unique, and significant. The condition of the coin is just as important as its rarity. A quarter from this series that's in pristine, uncirculated condition can demand a higher price on the market. The better the coin's condition, the fewer scratches, dings, or signs of wear, the more it will be worth. Coins in mint state 69 or 70, which are nearly perfect, are the most desirable and can fetch a premium price, especially if they also feature an error or a rare characteristic. But let's get to the real question: what could a 2005 West Virginia state quarter be worth? Well, you might be surprised to know that some of these coins have sold for substantial amounts at auctions. If you've got one of these rarer versions of the coin, perhaps with a minting error or in pristine condition, you could be holding onto a coin worth thousands of dollars. In fact, one of these special coins has been valued at a jaw-dropping $25,000, yes, you heard that correctly, $25,000 for a single 2005 West Virginia state quarter. So, if you have one of these coins lying around, it might be time to take a closer look. Inspect it carefully, check for any minting errors, and if it seems to have that rare characteristic, consider getting it graded by a professional. You could be sitting on a small fortune, so, whether you've got a collection of quarters from the 50-state series or just a single West Virginia quarter you've been holding onto for years, remember that every coin has its own story. The 2005 West Virginia state quarter is a perfect example of how a seemingly ordinary piece of currency can be full of history, artistry, and, with a little luck, incredible value. Last unique coin, we explore the 2007 Wyoming state quarter. The Wyoming state quarter is part of the United States Mint's 50 state quarters program, which was launched in 1999. Each state was represented with a unique quarter that reflected the essence of its history, culture, and heritage. Wyoming, which became the 44th state in 1890, was the final state to be honored in this program, and its quarter was released in 2007. The coin features iconic imagery that represents the very heart of the state's identity, the beauty of its natural landscapes and the strength of its spirit. On the reverse side of the Wyoming state quarter, you'll find an image that captures the majesty of the state's most famous landmark, the Grand Teton Mountains. The mountains rise prominently in the background, symbolizing the rugged and vast wilderness that defines Wyoming. Beneath the mountains, you see a bison standing tall, embodying the state's rich wildlife heritage and its historical importance in the American frontier. Wyoming, known for its wide-open spaces, majestic mountains, and thriving wildlife, is a place where nature and history merge into one spectacular picture. But what really makes this coin stand out in the world of coin collecting is not just the beautiful design, but also the rarity of the coin, particularly those in pristine condition. Many of these quarters were produced in large numbers and circulated widely, but not all of them have withstood the test of time. Most of the Wyoming quarters you encounter today will have some signs of wear and tear from being used in everyday transactions, but a near-perfect coin, especially one with unique characteristics or errors, can be a true treasure. Speaking of unique characteristics, some of the Wyoming state quarters feature rare minting errors. These errors can be anything from a double strike to a misalignment, and they can make the coin worth much more than its face value. Imagine finding a Wyoming quarter with a die crack or some other error that makes it stand out from the rest. Such coins are extremely rare, and collectors will pay top dollar for these misprints, as they are considered a part of the rich tapestry of coin history. Condition is another critical factor when determining the value of a coin like this. A Wyoming state quarter in mint state, meaning it is almost flawless and shows no signs of circulation wear, is highly desirable to collectors. These coins are usually graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being the highest grade a coin can receive. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes, especially if it also has any unique minting errors. Collectors are particularly keen on coins that have been well preserved and remain in near immaculate condition. Now, you may be wondering just how much a coin like this can be worth. While most Wyoming state quarters are worth just their face value of 25 cents, certain specimens can be worth a lot more, especially if they are in uncirculated condition or have a rare minting error. A perfect, error-free Wyoming state quarter could fetch a substantial sum, but if you happen to have one with an error, you could be sitting on a small fortune. The value for such rare and well-preserved coins has been known to reach $47,000, yes, that's right, $47,000 for a single coin. This is no ordinary quarter, it's a rare collector's item, and if you have one of these beautiful Wyoming state quarters with the right characteristics, it could be your ticket to a significant windfall. So, if you come across one of these coins, take a moment to inspect it carefully. Look for any errors, unusual features, or even small details that might indicate it's a rare find. The Wyoming state quarter serves as a reminder of the stunning natural beauty and history that makes this state unique. It's a piece of the American West, encapsulated in a coin, and for some collectors, it's a priceless treasure. Whether you're an experienced coin collector or just starting to explore the world of numismatics, the 2007 Wyoming state quarter could hold the key to unlocking a treasure trove of valuable coins in your collection. So, next time you're digging through your coin jar or checking your pocket change, remember that something as simple as a state quarter could be worth much more than you expect. Take the time to check for rare coins with unique minting features, and you just might find yourself holding onto a small fortune. Thanks for watching today's video. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare coins, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more exciting coin discoveries. You never know what you might find next. Until next time, happy collecting.